Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to learn about the differences between access port and trunk port. Let's get started. In modern computer network, VLANs, virtual local area networks, are used to divide a network into smaller, more secure and more manageable segments. To make VLANs work properly on a switch, different types of switch port are used. The two most common switch port types are access ports and trunk ports. Each port type has a specific role in how network traffic is sent and received. Understanding the difference between access port and trunk port helps network administrator design efficient, secure, and well-organized network, especially in office and enterprise environment. Okay, in here I will give you the differences between access port and trunk port. I will give you explanation based on the image. An access port is a switch port that carries traffic for only one VLAN. Access port just for one VLAN. Devices connected to an access port do not need to understand VLANs. Okay, if you have switch and you want to connect to other laptop, printer, or anything devices, you just plug in into the switch. No setting needed. Commonly used for end devices such as computer, printers, IP phones. Okay, you can just connect all devices through this port. For example, a PC or printer is connected to the switch. The port belongs to VLAN 10 and all traffic is untagged. No need setting for this. But for trunk port is a switch port that carries traffic for multiple VLAN at the same time. Okay, the differences between access port and trunk port. Access port just for one VLAN, but for trunk port for multiple VLANs. Okay, you can see in here, for example, if you want to connecting to others switch, you can use trunk port. To set trunk port and access port, you need laptop and then your laptop connecting to this switch through a CMD command line or web or anything application. You can set up this role through your laptop. Maybe port number 1 you make it access port number 2 access port, and for this port number 5 for trunk port. You make it this through your laptop. Trunk port uses VLAN tagging. Each data frame includes a VLAN ID. For example, VLAN number 10 for this switch and VLAN number 20 for this switch. Commonly used to connect switch to switch, switch to router, switch to firewall. For example of this, traffic from VLAN 10 and 20 travels through the same cable, distinguished by VLAN tags. Okay. Key differences between access port and trunk port. Feature: access port just for one VLAN only. Trunk port for multiple VLANs. Traffic type: access port untagged. Trunk port tagged. Typical use: access port for end user devices, but for trunk port for network devices. VLAN awareness not required, but for trunk port required. Okay, key point of this: access port for single VLAN and trunk port for multiple VLAN. Access port one room, one key, but for trunk port highway with many lanes. For example, the real case. You can imagine a medium-sized office with different departments. In this office house employee, finance, and guests. You can make trunk port VLAN number 10 for employee, VLAN number 20 for finance, and VLAN number 30 for guests. Each employee's PC, printer, or IP phone is connected to an access port on the switch. An employee PC is plugged into access port VLAN 10. A finance PC is plugged into access port VLAN 20. The device does not know anything about VLANs. The switch automatically places the traffic into the correct VLAN. A finance computer cannot directly access top or gas devices because it is isolated in VLAN 20. The office has multiple switches on different floors. Switch on floor 1 and switch on floor 2 are connected using a trunk port. The trunk port carries VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30. 10 for staff, 20 for finance, and 30 for guests. Traffic is sent using VLAN tags, so the receiving switch knows which VLAN the data belongs to. An employee on floor 1 can access a server on floor 2 within the same VLAN, even though the traffic passes through one cable. Why this is important? Security, efficiency, scalability, and control. Security: VLAN data is separated from staff and guest networks. Efficiency: one cable can carry many VLANs using a trunk port. Scalability: easy to add new departments or VLANs. Control: network admins can manage traffic more effectively. The summary of this: Access port and trunk ports are essential components in a VLAN-based network, and each has a clear and specific function. An access port is used to connect end-user devices such as computers, printers, and IP phones. It carries traffic for only one VLAN and sends data as untagged frames, so the connected device does not need to understand VLANs. A trunk port is used to connect network devices such as switches, routers, or firewall. It can carry multiple VLAN at the same time by using VLAN tagging, allowing different types of traffic to share a single physical link. Okay, I think enough for this explanation. If you have any question about this, you can comment on below this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video to your friends. See you next time, and goodbye.